Angels and their suddenly sizzling slugger.
Thanks a lot, Matt. We are in downtown Seattle, Safeco Field. Albert Pujols and the Angels riding a season-high 4-game winning streak. It is turned back the clock day. The LA Angels and Seattle Rainiers baseball night in America on Fox, presented by Chevrolet. Hi, everybody. Inside Safeco Field, I'm Victor Rojas along with Eric Birch. Glad you could join us. And I tell you what, a terrific ball game scheduled for today because you got a very good starting pitcher for the Seattle Mariners facing a very hot hitter by the name of Albert Pujols.
Yeah, Albert Pujols. I'll tell you what, Victor, go back 9 days ago, May the 17th, and Albert Pujols drove a ball to center field off of hard-throwing lefty Chris Sale. When I saw this, I immediately said, Albert Pujols is back. Last night, you see him hitting the ball the other way, Oppo Taco action. What makes Albert Pujols so great and what's made him the hitter he is through all these years is his ability to use the entire field, and that's what he's starting to do. As
we mentioned, Seattle is going to be throwing out a very good right-handed pitcher by the name of Felix Hernandez. What should we see today?
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to see a lot because this guy features everything. But King Felix, I played with him in 2010, his Cy Young Award year. I was here for just a month, and they got rid of me. King Felix was just fine without me. He is one of the best pitchers of our generation.
Now we're just about ready for baseball in Seattle. Felix Hernandez going up against Jerome Williams. Sit back and relax. We'll bring you the lineups and the first pitch when we return. Hernandez jumping over the foul line, taking the hill here to take on the Angels in the third game of this 4-game series. And here are today's starting lineups for the Angels, brought to you by Taco Bell. Live Mas. Mike Scioscia running out. Mike Trout in the leadoff spot at center field. It's Meister Asturis at third base. Albert Pujols at first. Kendrys Morales is the designated hitter. Mark Trumbo in right field. Howie Kendrick, who had the big hit last night, the start at second base. Eric Ibar is the shortstop. Cole Calhoun made a terrific catch in right field. He'll get the start in left. And Bobby Wilson is batting ninth and doing the catching, taking on the 26-year-old native of Valencia, Venezuela, by the name of Felix Hernandez, and terrific numbers here at Safeco.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'll tell you what, Felix Hernandez has got an incredible arsenal of pitches, a four-seamer, two-seamer, curveball, slider, change-up, everything. But the one thing, Victor, that's really caught me with him is he's learned how to pitch. He's not the same Felix Hernandez who came up throwing 98 miles per hour. You're going to see him in the low 90s most of the day. But he really has just been spot on as far as location's concerned, and that's why he's had the success he's had in the past couple of years.
The opening pitch brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Mike Trout steps in to lead this one off. A very good crowd here at Safeco Field, and the first one is down low, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. It's an Angels team, as we mentioned, with a 4-game winning streak at 22-25 on the season. At the start of the day, 6.5 back in the American League West. Trout hitting .296 on the year, swings and fouls this one back, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. As we mentioned, a perfect day, 73 degrees here in the Emerald City.
Not too many days like these in Seattle. Victor, you got to appreciate them when they come.
Kyle Seager and Justin Smoke, the corner infielders, playing in against Trout as he checks swings. He rolls this one foul. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. Turn back the clock. Back to the PCL League days. Pacific Coast League, Seattle Rainiers, Los Angeles Angels. A great look. And they've gone all out here as far as turn back the clock. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Trout last night went 0 for 5. 2 for his last 22, and that's going back to a 3-hit game last Sunday. Trout shoots this one toward the middle. That's a base hit. So the leadoff man is on board for the Angels as Mike Karp gets the baseball back in. Defensively for the Mariners today, you've got Mike Karp in left field. It's Michael Saunders in center, Ichiro Suzuki in right field, Kyle Seager at third, Brendan Wright at short, Dustin Ackley at second base, Justin Smoke at first, and Miguel Olivo is doing the catching in that defensive alignment, brought to you by Scott. Meiser Asturis, the third baseman today, had a 1 for 4 game yesterday. The first one is up high. That's 1 ball, no strikes.
But Mike Trout, King Felix, no problem. Shoot him right back up the middle. This kid is going to be something special. Already is.
He has certainly made a name for himself. A brief time in the big leagues last year, and then has settled in that leadoff spot for the Angels this season. He's really turned things around for this Angels team. One of the biggest problems this Angels team's had over the last couple of years is that leadoff man and getting on base. Trout with a pretty good lead at first. He takes off. The pitch is outside the third out from Olivo, and Trout is gunned down for the first out.
Wow, what a throw from Miguel Olivo. Mike Trout, Victor, got a great jump from first base, and Miguel Olivo has got one of the strongest arms in all of baseball. A former teammate of mine, actually going all the way back to Modesto when I was coming up with the Oakland Athletics. But it took a perfect throw, and it was one.
Olivo just off the disabled list a couple of days ago. Had a groin issue that put him on the shelf. That occurred earlier this month down in St. Petersburg, Florida. That's a called strike. 2-2 now.
If you're his tourist right there, you can't do anything with that. That's a ball that looks like it's going to hit you from a batter's perspective that runs all the way back onto the inside part of the plate.
2-2. Steers fouls it back. As an offensive player, what is the approach, the scouting report for you going into a game having to face a guy like Felix Hernandez?
You just want to try to get him when you can because he doesn't make too many mistakes.
This one rolled over to second. Ackley comes charging in. 2 outs.
That's 89 miles per hour, Victor. And it has the movement of a changeup. That's what makes Felix Hernandez so good is that he doesn't throw a ball that is straight. I was talking to Jack Zrinzik earlier, and he was telling me when they were back in New York, Bud Black actually for some reason was presenting Felix Hernandez with the Cy Young Award, and he sent up one of his young Padre hitters to face Felix. 3 pitches, he was gone. He comes back to the dugout. Bud Black asked him what he threw on the first pitch. He said he had no idea. He said, what did you throw on the second pitch? What did you throw on the second pitch? No idea. Third pitch, no idea.
That kid gets sent down the next day. Albert foul tips down when it's 0-2.
There's a 92-mile-per-hour fastball, more of a four-seamer with real good late life to it.
There's the Kings court out in the left field corner, wearing the Rainiers t-shirts today. And the 0-2 to Pujols, swing and a miss. So Hernandez gives up the leadoff base hit, but faces the minimum 3. Head to the bottom of the first, scoreless. Bottom of the first inning, Jerome Williams has just concluded his warm-up tosses. We'll take a look at the starting 9 for the Seattle Mariners, brought to you by Taco Bell Live Más. Dustin Ackley back in the starting lineup in the leadoff role, playing second base. Michael Saunders in center. Ichiro Suzuki in right field. Kyle Seager, the cleanup man at third base. Justin Smoak, 4 RBIs for him last night. He's at first base. John Jaso, the designated hitter. Miguel Olivo doing the catching. Mike Karp in left field. And the shortstop batting 9th is Brendan Ryan taking on Jerome Williams, who comes into this one with a 4-2 mark, a 3.74 ERA. Jerome coming off a tough start from a command standpoint against the Oakland Athletics as Ackley swings the first one. And he comes up empty. It's 0-1. What's the scouting report on Jerome Williams?
Sinker and cutter, Victor, sometimes less and more. He has 2 really quality pitches, and he throws them a lot, about 90% of the time. 6 of 7 quality starts as well this year. So he's a guy that's going to eat up some innings and go at you.
Doesn't waste a whole lot of time on the mound as the 0-2 pitch is down and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And I mentioned that last start against Oakland, in which he went 6 1/3, gave up just 2 runs, both earned but 5 walks and 2 strikeouts, and that's not usually his MO. 1-2 to Ackley's outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I faced Jerome Williams early in his career when he was with the San Francisco Giants. Just a completely different pitcher, more of a power arm.
Called strike 3 on the outside corner, and there's the first down.
Great pitch here. This is the sinker, 92 miles per hour. He still has some life in his fastball. It's not the 95, 96 that he threw when he first came up with the Giants. But it's hard and it's moving. He never had that movement early on in his career.
Michael Saunders takes outside for ball 1. Saunders was in that leadoff spot last night, but 1 for 4. Ended up scoring a run, hitting .225 with 4 home runs and 15 runs batted in. And that pitch missed outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Jerome Williams, 30 years of age, native of Honolulu, Hawaii. He falls behind here at 3-0. It's a Mariners team that he's facing for the 3rd time since coming back to big league life. Last year he faced them twice. Seattle this year with a 21-27 record as Saunders looks at a strike. Mariners have been playing good baseball, having won 5 of 6 coming into this series, but the Angels taking the first 2. Saunders lines one to center field. Trout coming on. He's going to play it on a bounce. For a moment he thought about laying out for it, but it's a 1-out single for Michael Saunders. Defensively for the Angels, it's Cole Calhoun at left, Mike Trout at center, Mark Trumbo in right field. The infield has Meiser Asturis, Eric Ibar, Howie Kendrick, and Albert Pujols from third to first, with Bobby Wilson doing the catching. And that defensive alignment brought to you by Scotts. Here's Ichiro, running a 5-game hitting streak, season high for him. 1 for 4 game yesterday. He's got 11 doubles and 3 triples and shoots this one to second base, hit hard enough possibly to turn 2. Nice turn by Eric Ibar, and the inning comes to an end. 1 complete in Seattle. We are scoreless. Today's game presented by Chevrolet and by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. And by MasterCard. Shop and pay your bills online with MasterCard prepaid cards. Top of the 2nd inning in Seattle. The Kings court being fed. They're hungry. They want the K's. Always here when Felix Hernandez is on the hill. Facing Kendrys Morales to start this 2nd inning. The first one's in for a strike.
Battle of the Kings today, Victor. King Albert, King Felix.
Yep.
King Victor.
Yeah, far from it. 1 ball, 1 strike on Kendrys Morales. It's pretty decent numbers against Felix Hernandez. The one thing I do want to get your take on is we get closer and closer to the shadows starting to creep towards home plate. Morales fouls this one back, and it's 1-2. It's going to happen here in the next half hour thereabouts, and how much more difficult it is for an offensive player to face, especially a guy like Felix Hernandez.
It's miserable. Shadows right up there with wind as far as what baseball players despise, at least offensive players. Wind that blows in, by the way.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Kendrys Morales 0 for 4 last night, hitting .285 on the year. Just 3 home runs and 12 runs batted in. Has not had an extra base hit since May the 13th. As he swings and misses on that one, Olivo applies the tag. And there's out number 1. Let's go to Matt Vasgersian at the MLB Network studios for a DirecTV game break.
Victor, wild one in Arlington. Omar Vizquel's RBI single breaks a 5-5 tie in the top half of the 13th. The Rangers at one point had hit back-to-back-to-back-to-back home runs. Was that 3? That's what I was trying to convey. Top of the 13th, Blue Jays on top by a run. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Back to Victor and Eric.
Thanks a lot, Matty.
Back-to-back-to-back-to-back. Matty V, that would be 4.
Mark Trumbo chopping this one off the plate. Kyle Seager is not going to have a play. That's an infield base hit for Mark Trumbo. But you being from UCLA, you figured that one out, right?
That's what that UCLA education has done for me.
Matty Vasgersian did not go to UCLA.
Of course not.
1 out knock for Mark Trumbo. Had a big hit late in the game yesterday. That 9th inning rally started by Trumbo leading things off. Base hit to center field, leading to 3 runs, and the Angels picking up that come from behind victory. As Howie Kendrick steps in. He pinch hit and got that 2 RBI single in the 9th inning. Put the Angels ahead. Looks at a strike.
Really no chance for Kyle Seager with big Mark Trumbo up there. As a third baseman, you're going to play as far back as you possibly can. Talking to Dan Herron today, he believes Trumbo has the 2nd most pop in the big leagues, behind Giancarlo, don't call me Mike Stanton. But he said, don't tell Trumbo I said that, because he's going to be disappointed I didn't say he was first.
Stanton and the Marlins have just been incredible in the month of May.
How about some of the balls he's hit?
Got off to a very slow start. 0-2 to Howie Kendrick, and this one's lifted in the air to shallow left. Brendan Ryan shading his eyes is there. 2 outs. Time now for today's Ford keys to the game.
Well, the keys to the Angels, Victor, get to Felix early. 5 starts of 8 innings of 1 or fewer runs. That's the Felix quality start. He's completely redefined quality starts here. Continue to ride the wave if you're the Angels, too. They've won 4 in a row. The starters have the best ERA in the American League. The bullpen has been lights out as of late, and King Albert is getting hot. As far as the M's are concerned, stay the course. They have a lot of good young core position players. They've been playing very good baseball as of late. They went into Colorado. They swept that series, took 2 or 3 from the world champs. Excuse me. Took 2 or 3 from the Texas Rangers, the American League champs. And then have been in both of these games here and lost a heartbreaker last night.
And the one thing for Seattle has just been much like the Angels this year. The offense slow to get moving. The pitching staff's been very good. 6th in the American League overall. Eric Ibar pops this one up. Brendan Ryan backpedaling out. Makes the catch. The inning comes to an end. We head to the bottom of the 2nd in Seattle. Still scoreless. Sponsored by Bud Light Live. Summer is calling. We start the bottom of the second inning with no score here. Jerome Williams will be facing Kyle Seager, Justin Smoke, and John Jaso in the Mariners' half of the second. Seager last night 1 for 2, had a double and a couple of walks. It's our pleasure to welcome in one of the starting pitchers for the Seattle Mariners. Dare I say, the veteran of that staff, Kevin Millwood, kind enough to join us in the dugout here in the second. Kevin, what's going on?
Not too much. That's a nice way to put it. I appreciate that.
You like that?
Yeah.
Now, we go back a long way, so I figured I could introduce you that way. How about either that or elder statesman?
Veteran will work.
Hey, how's your season been going? I mean, you're off to a terrific start coming back to the American League, especially after last year in Colorado. I know you were with Baltimore a couple seasons ago, but seems like you've settled into a nice routine here with the Mariners.
Yeah, I feel like I'm starting to throw the ball well and, getting a few wins under my belt and, team's starting to play a little better. So, it's all kind of coming together at the same time.
Kevin, this is a very young team. What's it like being really the one veteran presence on that squad? And do these guys come to you for some advice, so to speak?
Yeah, we talk a little bit, about the game. A lot of it has to do with just doing things the right way and carrying yourself the way you should. But for the most part, we got a good bunch of guys, and there's not. Good Lord!
Look watch yourself.
No. But these guys do things the right way for the most part, and it's not too big of a job.
Have guys gotten away from that? I know you came up, especially with a lot of veteran guys in the Atlanta Braves organization. As Seager fouls this one off the left here, but have younger players gotten away from that quote unquote the right way to play the game?
I'm not so sure it's the way to play the game. It's I think a lot of young players now maybe seem a bit entitled, and and don't really seem to have to work for things too much, and that's something you want to make sure that they're.
This one hit well, and Calhoun will make the catch for the first out. I want to ask you about the game you pitched up in Colorado, the 6th career shutout. Your first with the Mariners. The approach that you took against that Rockies team.
Just the big thing pitching in that ballpark. Just want to keep the ball down, and felt like I did a good job of that. And, got some guys to chase here and there, and our defense played really well that day.
Kevin, how have you evolved as a pitcher since you first came into the league?
Well, I think my velocity is obviously not what it used to be. So, definitely had to try to move the ball a little bit more and pitch to locations. And it's kind of it's been kind of a fun transition. Trying to learn a totally different way to go about my business.
You continue to try to tweak things. I mean, we're perfect examples. A guy that's on the mound right now, Jerome Williams, who was a high fastball four-seam guy that all of a sudden has to go out of the country, gets away back to the big leagues, throwing that sinker. How much tweaking is there with you, just kind of playing with pitches, whether it's a cutter or a sinker or two-seamers?
It's constant tweaking, trying to either come up with something new or trying to make what I got better. And I think from early on, I was always told that this is a game of adjustments, and you make adjustments pretty much every day you come to the park and try to make yourself better.
The guy on the mound today for you guys, Kevin, Felix Hernandez, came into the league throwing 98 miles per hour. Not quite the same fastball. He's the guy who's definitely made adjustments through the course of his career. What have you seen with him?
Yeah, he's just fun to watch. Like you said, he's not throwing 97, 98, but he's just as effective.
1, 2, 3 inning for Jerome Williams. Kevin, we appreciate it as always. Continued success.
Thanks, guys.
You got it. Kevin Millwood kind enough to join us. We're in the Emerald City. 2 in the books with no score. scoreless. Both starting pitchers have allowed a hit. Felix Hernandez has allowed 2. Jerome Williams 1. Hernandez with a couple of strikeouts and no walks. He'll face 8, 9, and 1 for the Angels here in the 3rd inning. Calhoun, Wilson, and Trout turned back the clock day. 1950s style uniforms from the Pacific Coast League. First one to Cole Calhoun is in for a strike. Calhoun last night 1 for 2, had a couple of walks, 2 for 7 since being called up to the big leagues.
But how about that catch in the 9th inning, Victor?
Looks at a strike, and it's 0-2. Off the bat of Brendan Ryan, facing Scott Downs, the leadoff man in the 9th.
And Brendan Ryan struggling offensively. He drills the ball to the right center field gap, and Calhoun comes out of nowhere to make the play.
Calhoun saying after the game that he had to deal with the ball kind of going in and out of the lights for a brief moment, and then picking it up at the last minute and making that terrific catch. That's using all 5 feet 10 inches of Cole Calhoun right there. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Great athlete, put up great numbers. AAA Salt Lake. Went to Arizona State. Sun Devil, I won't hold that against him.
Obviously, with the injuries that the Angels have suffered, Chris Ionnet on the disabled list, Vernon Wells on the DL, Torrey Hunter on the restricted list. There's a possibility that Torrey could be in Southern California this weekend, and we'll go from there as to whether or not he could rejoin the team next week or at some point during the next homestand. But Cole Calhoun getting an opportunity. He's got his first major league hit a couple of days ago in Oakland. 3-2, back up the middle, knocked down by Felix. 1 out, and with Calhoun in the starting lineup, that means Peter Borges is not. And you know, we mic'd up Peter Borges. This is what he had to say about what he does on his off day.
Hey TJ, I want to get huge. I want to get huge.
No pop.
I know, that's why I need to get huge, so then I got pop. All right, just started. I'm gonna work out again today.
You're just going to become the highest paid lifter in the league now?
Hey, I do what I can, you know?
Peter talking to TJ Harrington, the Angels strength and conditioning coach. That kind of what you did when you had the off days?
Yeah, I mean, you call them off days, benchings, whatever.
Some would call them benchings, wouldn't they? This one hit well towards left field, but playable for Mike Karp. We got a good jump on it. Bobby Wilson is retired for out number 2. Borges, an everyday guy last year, and with the emergence of Mike Trout in the starting lineup, and when Vernon Wells and Torrey Hunter were both in the starting lineup, limited playing time for Peter.
Well, Borges is as good as there is in center field, and I really feel like it's just a matter of time before his bat comes around. The ability is there. The numbers just haven't been there yet.
Right. Incredible speed. Same goes for Mike Trout at the plate. Who had a base hit in the first inning, but was thrown out trying to steal for the second time this year.
Defensively, with Peter Borges, Mike Trout, and Cole Calhoun in the outfield, that could be the best defensive outfield in baseball.
That is an option moving forward. Vernon Wells still after this season with 2 years left on his contract. Trout pushing a bunt to the first base side. Tough play for Ackley, not going to get it. And that's a 2-out base hit. Second hit of the game for Trout.
He's just a total package. He knows how to play the game. An intelligent baseball player. I talked to Mike Scioscia today. He said as far as his makeup, it's off the charts. Not what you would expect from a 20-year-old kid. Think about what you were doing at 20 years old, Victor.
I don't even remember. That's how bad it was.
There was a play earlier in the game when Michael Saunders drilled a base hit up the middle. And Mike Trout had a very nice break of the ball. and then he pulled up and he let it drop. There was one out at the time. Kept the ball in front of him. Didn't turn in a single into an extra base hit. Ichiro, right after that, hits into a double play, inning over. Just a very heads-up play by a kid who's 20 years old.
Tough to teach instincts.
I was 30, and I was going head first for that ball. Not the right play. This kid is well beyond his years.
Steers tried to check his swing. Dale Scott brings him up 0-2. Go back to that play that you were talking about.
And you see the good jump right away, yet he decides to pull up on the ball. He very easily could have dove for that ball and probably given up a double, even a triple in Michael Saunders. Instead, keeps the double play in order with one out. Ichiro hits a sharp ground ball, and they're out of the inning.
Yeah, we were just talking about Peter Borges before Mike Trout got that bunt base hit, and it's been the running thing, it seems, every year about who is faster, Mike Trout or Peter Borges. And it seems like the consensus is that home to first, Trout is that guy. He was clocked just a couple of weeks ago at 3.53 seconds from home to first. But on the bases, especially cutting the bases, Borges is that guy. Mike Scioscia will not allow a foot race between the two guys. They've tried. There's been plenty of people that have asked and tried, but it's not going to happen.
I did a breakdown on Mike Trout for MLB Network, and we had him clocked on a bunt at 3.2 seconds to first base.
Steers went around, and that will end the inning as Felix Hernandez has picked up his third strikeout. We head to the bottom of the third, scoreless. America is presented by Chevrolet. Game 3 of this 4-game set between the Angels and the Mariners. Great crowd on hand here. I'll turn back the clock, Dave. Victor Rojas along with Eric Burns. Miguel Olivo just trying to make contact with that swing. He fouls it straight back, and it's 0-1. Would that be defined as coming out of your shoes?
Miguel Olivo guaranteed me a home run today.
Really?
Let's see how that works out for him.
Was that that broadcaster BP you were taking on the field before the game today?
That was it.
Was that one swing, though, you think?
He tried to jump him.
Bottom third of the order for Seattle, Olivo, Carp, and Ryan. 51 home runs since 2009. Kind of a get-off-me swing on that one with that sinker up and in. 1 out. Second strikeout for Jerome. Next Saturday on Baseball Night in America, the Yankees will be in Detroit to take on Prince Fielder and the Tigers, or the Cubs battle Buster Posey and the Giants, or Diamondbacks, Padres, Reds, Astros, or Twins, Indians. Baseball Night in America telecast presented by Budweiser begins next Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox. Check your local listings for the game and start time in your area. Mike Carp takes outside for ball 1. Carp went 0 for 3 yesterday as he fouls this one back. Hitting just 143 this year. 4 home runs and 7 runs batted in. But also one of those core young position players you were talking about for Seattle. You got Dustin Ackley at 24 years of age. 25-year-old Michael Saunders. 24-year-old Kyle Seager. Carp. Just to name a few guys. Justin Smoke, another young man.
Montero as well. Jack Zarinsek is very optimistic about the direction this team's heading, as is Eric Wedge. They've shown flashes of brilliance, but they just haven't put it all together.
Upstairs, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
One of the big concerns has been the home and road splits. These guys have struggled at home, hitting just over 200 as a team, and hitting a lot better on the road. So with the New York Mets moving their fences in, the San Diego Padres talking about moving their fences in, I asked Jack Zarinsek today if this is something the Seattle Mariners might consider. And essentially, he said he's not going to rule anything out. They're going to get through this year. They're not going to do it in the middle of the year. But it might be something that they want to look into.
3-2 to Carp is lifted foul and out of play.
There were 2 balls hit the other night. One by Casper Wells, the other one by Liddy, I believe. Both driven to the middle part of the ballpark, where in the Seattle air just died. These are home runs that ended up being outs. It essentially cost him the game.
Let's go to Matt Vasgersian at the MLB Network studios for another DirecTV game break.
Victor, wild finish in Arlington. Toronto scored 2 in the top of the 13th to take a 7-5 lead, but the amazing Josh Hamilton wins it for Texas on his major league leading 20th home run and 53rd RBI. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Back to you guys in the Pacific Northwest.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Very good numbers for Josh Hamilton. Continues to swing a very hot bat as Brendan Ryan shows bunt there and takes ball 1.
Glad to see Matty V in his USC education. Did not screw up that one.
Brendan Ryan pinch in as we showed you the video clip before. A terrific play by Cole Calhoun. I want to get back to that point that you were making with the conversation you had with Jack Zarinsek and the possibility of moving fences in. I mean, you came up with an Oakland A's facility that obviously we still can't believe that there was a batting title won by an Oakland Athletic at one point, playing your home games in that ballpark. And you had a couple of seasons in which you drove the ball out of the yard. Does the mindset really need to change that much? I mean, do you need to move the fences in to kind of boost the confidence of young players?
Yes, and it's not just about home runs, Victor. I mean, really, I watch it on a nightly basis with the San Francisco Giants. They do the same thing. They hit the road. Their hitters have their bags packed 3 days prior to the trip. They can't wait to get out of there. It wears on you mentally when you hit balls that you feel should be heading to the gap or getting over a fence. And it has this lasting effect. Now, people who are going to argue are going to say, well, let's go back to 2001 and look at the offense the Mariners had then. Well, this is a different era. This is a completely different era than it was. The game has changed a ton since those years. So I think it's only right that these teams make the adjustment. I think it's better for the game.
Time was called there at the last minute. It also goes to the philosophy of an organization. No, if you're going to maintain that you like the dimensions of a particular facility, in Safeco in this case, and you like the way the pitching staff is shaped up and the way this staff works in this ballpark, doesn't the philosophy change to you get Dustin Ackley's not a lift and separate guy. Kyle Seager's not a lift and separate guy. They have the ability to pull the ball out of the ballpark. As Ryan lifts this one out to center, playable for Trout. 2 outs.
Yeah, but we're talking about an entire group of players, of young players coming up. And specifically, you're not going to change anything just for one guy to say, okay, Dustin Ackley, we're going to move it. No. You look at this core group, and they all have pop. They all have the ability to drive the ball out of the ballpark, just not this one. Not on a consistent basis. Sure, if they run into one in a day game maybe like today, it's going to go.
Ackley steps in and takes outside for ball 1. He struck out looking in the bottom of the first innings. He's 0 for 1.
Then comes the issue of attracting potential free agents or keeping your young superstars, position player-wise.
One ball, one strike. Seattle 9th in the American League in home runs with 40 as a team. As you pointed out, the batting average wise, on base percentage under 300. They're at 289 on base percentage. One and two, as you can see on the monitor there on the screen, the shadows encompassing the home plate area. Pitcher's mound still in that full sunshine.
Starting to become a factor.
Carp back at first. He drew a walk with 1 out. First walk issued in this game. Jerome Williams with a couple of strikeouts. The Angels with 3 hits, Seattle with 1. That was Michael Saunders' base hit with 1 out in the first inning.
I was in Mariners camp, Victor, with Dustin Ackley. This guy reminds me so much of Chase Utley. Mannerisms, his game, attitude. And I feel like he has the potential to have a Chase Utley sort of career. In this ballpark? Yeah. Probably not going to be putting up the numbers that Chase has at Citizens Bank.
Which plays like a bandbox as that pitch is up and away. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ackley, former first-round pick, 2nd overall selection in 2009 out of the University of North Carolina. He had Kyle Seager, college teammates. Alex White of the Cleveland Indians also on that team. 2-2. Breaks his bat, cues it foul. Is that right there the product of the shadows? You see the ball out of the sun, all of a sudden start your swing.
The shadows, they're tough. We talked about it earlier. It's light, and then all of a sudden it's dark. I mean, just on a normal at bat, I felt like the ball would disappear on me all the time. Then now you want to throw in shadows? My life was already hard enough.
Outside, a full count now with Carp at first base. He'll take off with the pitch with 2 outs. Saunders on deck.
It's also dangerous, Victor. I know you guys in Anaheim, you have some 4 o'clock starts.
Yeah.
And you do not pick up the ball until very late. It's tough to get out of the way of pitches.
Got him swinging. Ackley goes down for the second time. We've played 3. Albert Pujols set to lead things off for the Angels as we get to the 4th inning with no score here at Safeco. Roundup brand kills weeds to the roots so they don't come back. And by Ford, go further. Albert Pujols to lead things off here against Felix Hernandez and the Seattle Rainiers today on the turn back the clock day. Pujols a strikeout victim in the first inning. 3 punch outs for Felix Hernandez, no walks, and 3 hits allowed, all 3 singles. That's up and in. 1 ball, no strikes. The Angels with Pujols, Morales, and Trumbo here in the 4th inning. That home run that Pujols hit last night, his 6th of the season. That pitch misses down low. He's got a little 5-game hitting streak going. Now 35th all time with 451 home runs. Next up, Carl Yastrzemski. Red Sox great at 452.
Saw King Felix there set up to throw out of the stretch. Then went back to the windup.
Happens sometimes, right? With pitchers. 2-1 pitch. Pujols drills this one out toward deep left center field. Going back is Carp, and that is gone. A big fly for Albert Pujols, and the Angels have a 1-0 lead.
King Albert wins the battle of the Kings there. Gets a hanging breaking ball. from Felix Hernandez and just drills it out to one of the deepest parts of the ballpark. He's some kind of locked in right now.
3 consecutive games with a home run. Morales takes down one of dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike. So now he is tied with Carl Yastrzemski, 452 bombs.
We talked about it in the open. That home run he hit 9 days ago on May 17th to center field against Chris Sale. That was the first swing I had seen from Albert Pujols all year where he really hit a ball with authority to the middle of the diamond. He followed it up. He had that opposite field home run last night. And then again, using the big part of the ballpark, hits a breaking ball out today, Victor.
I mean, people, especially from a national perspective, and even those in Southern California, with the struggles that he had for the first 6 weeks of the season, 5-6 weeks of the season, everyone is talking about, whether or not is the decline starting to happen in the first year of a 10-year deal. And you kept hearing, he'll be all right, he'll be all right. But you wait for results, and getting a chance to watch it on an everyday basis, you tend to stay positive, and you want to see that what he's been able to do throughout his career. But all of a sudden, like you said a couple of weeks ago, that home run, you start to see moments where, all right, there he is. He's starting to get locked in, but then a regression. But of late, he has just been really locked in, as Morales doesn't like that strikeout call by C.B. Buckner. 1 out.
That 2-seam running fastball away from Kendrys Morales. He did not like the call.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit off the plate.
Just a little bit.
I felt like as a hitter, though, when you check swing and it's close, usually never goes your way.
Strikeout number 4 now for Felix Hernandez. Mark Trumbo looks at the strike.
The thing with Pujols is that they've been pounding him in. They pitch him the same way. They pound him in. They throw breaking balls and sliders away. He became so inside conscious that his first movement was his front hip flying forward. So really, for the first time in his career, you saw teams putting the shift on Albert Pujols. Mm-hmm. He was still hitting the ball hard, but he was hitting the ball hard the wrong direction. Foul. This isn't cricket.
Yeah. There's that old phrase about putting a canoe out there and just collecting all the baseballs, and that's what it felt like for Albert. You could see the growing frustration. Trumbo trying to walk that foul tip off.
Mike Scioscia talked about the feel that Albert Pujols has right now, and he said he's feeling a lot better. So I kind of asked him to expand on it. What exactly do you mean? He said, you could stand in the box and you may look the exact same on tape, but when you're up there, there's just something in your balance point that's a little different, and you know that you're locked in and you have a good chance of making hard contact.
This one's shot to right field, and it's a base hit for Mark Trumbo. He drew over to cut it off. Second hit of the game for Trumbo. Comes with 1 out here in the 4th. Take a look back for Albert Pujols, since we've been talking about him here over the last 4 seasons for him. I mean, you can clearly see the numbers, especially where he ranked. And that's the biggest thing that you saw. And obviously, he dealt with a little bit of an injury last year, but this year, the overall rankings for him, not where he would like them to be.
Oh, not yet, but hitting over 300 in his last 16 games, 6 homers now. He's looking a lot like the Albert Pujols that we've all known to really just admire.
Trumbo picks up a stolen base. 0-1 pitch. Kendrick chops this to short. Brendan Ryan thought about going to third. Takes the out. 2 down. Brings up Eric Ibar. We'll take a look at our Twitter poll for this ball game. Talking about Albert and the home runs. How many home runs will he hit this season? Fewer than 20, over 30, or 20 to 30. Just use the hashtag. Tweet your vote to @MLB on Fox.
Well, what's your vote?
I think he'll get north of 30. And the only reason I say that is because about 3 weeks into the season, still hadn't hit one. And he still had a positive attitude and talking to the media and talking to us around the team on a daily basis. And he said, listen, even if I have 0 at the All-Star break, I'll have my 30. If I have to go 15 and 15 the last 2 months, I'll get my 30.
Glad to see his confidence hasn't wavered.
You put up those kind of numbers to start your career on your way to a Hall of Fame career. Confidence certainly is not lacking. That's not one of the things you're overly worried about. And that's the one thing I tell you what, being with him on a daily basis or around him on a daily basis, that positive energy has been there the whole time. You know, got to answer the same questions. When are you going to hit your first home run? When's that going to come? And obviously he waited a long time till he hit that first home run at Angel Stadium, but nobody's talking about that anymore. A walk to Eric Ibar, the first issued by Felix Hernandez. Felix will face Cole Calhoun now with runners at the corners. Felix Hernandez with 4 strikeouts and now this walk. Gave up a leadoff home run to Albert Pujols, his 7th of the year. 26th run batted in.
Big spot for the Arizona State Sun Devil. Cole Calhoun.
Lifts this one out towards center field. Michael Saunders in a couple of steps will put it away to end the inning. But Albert Pujols with one swing of the bat puts the Angels on the board. His 7th home run of the season as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Angels on top 1-0. Safeco Field. Turn back the clock game. 1-0 Angels. Michael Saunders offered at that pitch, and it's 0-1.
Speaking of turning back the clock, happy 93rd birthday to my great aunt, Connie Gall, a lifelong Seattle Mariners fan.
That's awesome. Happy birthday to her. Now she knows who was wishing her a happy birthday, which is always good.
She still has her hearing.
Swing and a miss by Saunders, and there's out number 1. The MLB Fan Cave is back. Some of entertainment's and baseball's biggest stars are scheduled to visit and appear in Fan Cave videos. Check out all the latest cave happenings at MLBFanCave.com. You can follow MLB Fan Cave at MLB Fan Cave on Twitter, and like the MLB Fan Cave on Facebook. You been there yet?
Stopped by there last week when I was in New York, Victor.
Never been.
Pretty cool setup.
That's what it looks like. Ichiro takes up and in. Dave, you cut any videos there?
No.
No?
I actually just went on my own.
Just randomly stop by?
I developed a relationship with them. I did something in spring training with, well, at first there was a group of, I think it was like 100 that they brought to Arizona. And that was down from, I believe, around 40,000. Now there's 9 left. So it's sort of like a survivor thing where pretty shortly here, I think 2 of them are going to be booted out of the cave.
What are some of the things that they're doing to get judged?
Well, social media stuff,
yeah.
Twitter, Facebook. They're there to watch every single major league game, every one. They cannot miss it. That's the only rule.
That's insane. I've seen that wall of TVs. That's just crazy to watch every single game, every day. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes on Ichiro.
Showed up with a bottle of vino. That didn't last long.
No. They covered that up, or you covered it up? Allegedly. This one flipped down the line. Cole Calhoun will give it a chase, but it'll go into the seats.
A little sharing.
Yeah. I think that guy was just twittering that he would like a glass the next time at the Fan Cave. So there he is. Either that or he's wishing your aunt a happy birthday as well. Ichiro grounded into a double play that ended the first inning, so he's 0 for 1. Jerome Williams with 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 hit allowed. That was the Saunders hit in the first. Payoff pitch, and that is chopped foul. Trickles back.
I was Ichiro's throwing partner, designated throwing partner, when I was with the Mariners. Probably my biggest contribution to the team.
He was in center at the time.
Well, obviously he was playing right field.
Was he playing right?
But when you throw with Ichiro,
ground ball is short. Ibar's going to have to hurry. What a terrific arm to get Ichiro for the second out.
What a play. Normally, when you play catch down the line, as you see Ibar make a really nice play here. Backhanded, got rid of it quickly, knowing the speedy Ichiro is coming down the line. But normally when you play catch, say before practice, before a game, you would start at about 45 feet. Work your way back to 90, I would say, after maybe 10, 15, 20 throws, and maybe end up at 180 feet plus.
Pulled over to first. Pujols will take it himself. Another 1-2-3 inning.
Ichiro would start at 90, and we'd be at 300 within 10 throws.
Couldn't keep up?
No.
Come on, Bertie. Angels leading it 1-0, courtesy of an Albert Pujols home run that led off the 4th inning. The Angels sending up 9-1-2. Wilson Trout and his Sturris against Felix Hernandez, who has 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. Great crowd on hand. They've been struggling to draw fans here. Great crowd last night. Dustin Ackley bobblehead night, although Ackley was not in the starting lineup last night. Eric Wedge saying he didn't get the memo. He had no idea it was Dustin Ackley's bobblehead night. So what are you going to do? It happened a couple of weeks ago to the Angels. And Peter Borges, Bobby Wilson lifts this one in the air toward the Angels dugout, and Kyle Seager will put it away for out number 1, which will bring up Mike Trout. And I know you were talking about him earlier as far as his ability to do a lot of things very well.
Yeah, there's no doubt. This guy's got speed, unbelievable outfielder. The arm strength is there. Hits for average. It definitely has got some pop in that bat. 20 years old.
First one's a breaking ball for a strike. Trout today 2 for 2, a single into center, and a bunt base hit in the 3rd inning.
The pride of Millville, New Jersey, was actually the first player that they had at the player draft.
The only player.
At MLB Network. So
Yep.
the first and only, correct.
Yep. I was there that year with MLB Network, and it was the first season that they held the draft in Studio 42, which was pretty cool. But Trout, because he lived in and still does in southern New Jersey, drove up with his family, was there. Angels took him in the 1st round, and it was a great sight to see. Swings and misses on that one. 2 down. A nasty pitch down and in on Trout.
Filthy. A little sun, a little shadows, and watch this ball fall off the table.
Fifth strikeout. Incredible numbers for Felix Hernandez. Wow. His career, Cy Young Award winner. Some perhaps arguing he should be a 2-time Cy Young Award winner. Zach Greinke won in 2009.
Well, the debate comes up as far as whether or not a Cy Young Award winner needs to play on a winning team, needs to have a winning record. What are the most important statistics? This day and age of sabermetrics, it's really all about whip, walks and hits, plus innings pitched. ERA, still very important. But wins and losses, a lot of people feel they're not nearly as relevant as we once thought.
I agree. I'm not a big. I don't think a pitcher, you can determine a whole lot about his ability to pitch in one particular season just based on wins. I think you do have to break things down. That's why you have the advanced metrics to look at those things and be able to decipher how important he was. But the whole, did he pitch on a winning team and all that stuff, that to me is more of a product of the everyone gets a trophy society. The guy's the best pitcher based on numbers. He's the best pitcher. As Sturris is going to get hit by a pitch here. Although C.B. Buckner hasn't pointed. Okay, finally he points to first base.
Little breaking ball gets away, gets his Sturris on the right big toe. That's where I think that made contact.
Fifth hit batter for Felix Hernandez this year. Here's Albert Pujols, 1 for 2 with that home run. Lines went to left, a base hit. Carr playing towards the alley. Gets over there and cuts it off. Albert's going to try to go to second base. The throw is not in time. A 2-out double for Albert Pujols, 10th double of the year.
He has once again become a must-watch at bat. Although I could make a case, even when he was struggling, that was a must-watch at bat. This is a fastball that's riding in underneath his hands. You see him pull his hands in and square up that baseball. That is the pitch that Albert Pujols,
Kendrys Morales takes upstairs.
During his struggles, Victor, he was pulling that pitch foul.
Last 17 games. Overall numbers incredible. 6 for 10 with 3 home runs in this series is Pujols. Kendrys Morales is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. That pitch misses outside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. I thought for a moment that Dino Ebel, the third base coach for the Angels, would consider sending Meiser Asturias. Meiser was at first base after getting hit by a pitch, but Carp with the backhand threw the ball to second base. And a lot of times you'll get a third base coach that's down the line, sees that read, and windmills the base runner. But that did not happen.
Especially with a guy like Asturias who's got great speed. Spot on there, Victor. Nice call.
Morales went down swinging in the second, looking in the fourth. Lays off. Felix Hernandez wants an appeal. Dale Scott says he did not go. It's 3 balls and no strikes.
You got to imagine that Mike Scioscia is going to green light him right here. I'm just not sure if Felix is going to throw a strike.
And that is a strike. Mentioned earlier that Morales has very good numbers against Felix Hernandez. At the start of the day, a .364 average, 12 for 33 with a home run and 8 runs batted in.
Well, he has first base open. That's makes me wonder why he just laid one in there for him.
Fouled back. Full count. Came right after him.
Hey. They don't call you king because you're scared.
And maybe it is a product of the fact that Morales for the last 2 weeks has been getting just a lot of singles.
Well, a single here, I think the Angels will take.
No doubt. Full count with 2 outs, runners at second and third. Payoff pitch is fouled back. That last extra base hit was on a Sunday night game against the Texas Rangers, which was a 9th inning home run. Texas at the time was clearly in control, but since that point, Morales has not had an extra base hit. Trumbo's on deck. And the 3-2. And he swings and misses on the off-speed. 3rd strikeout of the game for Kendrys Morales, the 6th for Felix Hernandez. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. It is 1-0 Angels. Sponsored by Chevrolet, proud to support youth baseball in cities and towns across the country.
Well, that's very Seattle.
No doubt. Did you get your intake this morning?
Switched over to green tea.
Oh, did you? Got to have the hula hoop contest here and turn back the clock day. Bottom of the 5th inning, the Angels with a 1-0 lead. Justin Smoke leads things off, swinging at that off-speed pitch, and it's 0-1.
That is an off-speed pitch. Victor, when you went to break, we talked about Felix Hernandez. He threw that 89-mile-per-hour two-seamer, I imagine. And immediately I was with you. I said it must have been a changeup. It had so much movement on it. But yet it was still 89, which is what he throws his two-seamer at.
It's the beauty of, and it takes smarts and confidence to throw it, that BP fastball. Smoke rolls over this one, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Not a lot of guys do that too often. I know Jared Weaver does it a lot for the Angels, and Weaver's not a guy that lights up the radar gun to begin with. But he'll throw that 87-mile-per-hour fastball in a 2-1, 2-0 type of situation, 3-1. But he had Morales out in front a little bit. This one's hit sharply, but Howie Kendrick picks it up, fires the first, 1 out. Big weekend for auto racing, and here's Mike Joy.
Sunday at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Danica Patrick and NASCAR's top drivers, including Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jimmy Johnson, and Jeff Gordon, tackle stock car racing's longest, toughest event, racing into the night in the Coca-Cola 600 on Fox.
Back out here at Safeco Field, 1 out in the 5th. John Jace of the DH looks at a strike.
How about the job Jerome Williams has been doing? 1 out into the 5th inning. Mariners with just 1 hit. 7 ground ball outs, Victor. You know what that tells me? That sinker's working.
Jaso shoots one the opposite way, and that's going to get down and go for extra bases. On his way to second, John Jaso picked up his 7th double of the year.
It's a real good piece of hitting. Jerome Williams leaves that two-seamer up. Jaso drills it the other way. And as a hitter, that's how you defend against somebody who throws the ball with that much movement. You have to take what they give you. You try to pull that baseball, it's a ground ball. You go with it, it's a double.
Again, Oliva looks at a strike. There's that old adage against a sinker baller, if it starts at the knees, you lay off. Elevate it, tends to flatten out, you go to hacking.
Yeah, it's no doubt.
0-1 pitch. Easier said than done, though, especially the guy who's got a nasty sinker.
My approach against sinker ballers is just, like you said, to see the ball up. But when I say up, I'm talking almost chest high. And the guys with the real good sinker, the Derek Lowe's of the world, that ball's going to drop all the way down to your kneecaps.
1-2 count on Olivo. The strikeout victim in a third. 1 of 4 strikeouts for Williams. Not a guy that's going to rack up a lot of strikeouts. He'll get his fair share. Tying run and John Jaso at second base as that breaking pitch just missed inside.
Close. Olivo, just back off the disabled list, was heating up right before he got injured.
Ground ball to short. Ibar goes to third. The throw is high, and Jaso is safe. An ill-advised throw by Eric Ibar. You got an opportunity to get the out. Take it at first base.
Yeah, risky play. No need to try to get that out there at third base because there's already 1 out. So if he's at third base with 2 outs, who cares? I think it's just Eric Ibar's instinct
as he sees him running right in front of him to throw the ball over there. That's probably why he decided to do it. But really, in that situation, it'd be more understandable if there were no outs.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that there's already one out, it doesn't matter if that guy's on second or third with 2 outs.
So Olivo reaches on the fielder's choice. Runners at the corners here. Mike Carp at the plate. The soon-to-be illegal third to first move. At least that's what they're saying.
Fans always love that one.
Yeah. Carp with a walk in his first plate appearance, so no official at bat for him. Got that one back. Good swing on that pitch.
Real good swing. That third to first move, Victor, believe it or not, fans probably won't. That keeps the base runner at first base honest, because he cannot go off the first movement. He has to make sure that he's not going to pull that third to first move. So when he lifts his front leg, Tim Hudson was the best at it. Tim Hudson would get everybody when I played with him in Oakland. So people who think it doesn't always work, trust me, it does.
0-2. So if they get rid of the third to first, do they get rid of the spin move to second base?
Look, Major League Baseball needs to focus more on expanding their replay before they start considering changing all these other things that really I look at as a non-factor. It is the 21st century.
.73 pitches thrown by Williams. 1 out here in the 5th. Jaso with a double into the left field corner. And a fielder's choice by Olivo. This Carp pulls this one foul. Still 0-2. Mike Carp last year for Seattle hit .276 with 12 home runs. Drove in 46 in 79 games. But slowed at the beginning of the year. The shoulder issue, strained right shoulder, which he suffered toward the end of spring training. 0-2 again. Upstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Angels with a run in the 4th inning. That was on the Albert Pujols home run, his 7th of the year. His first threat that Seattle has had comes here in the 5th.
Whew. Tough pitch. Real nice job of fighting that off by Mike Carp. You see this? Here's the cutter coming in, probably going to hit him in the back knee had he not made contact with that ball.
Another 1-2. This one's fouled back.
The longer this at-bat goes on, Victor, I always say the advantage goes to the hitter. Carp gets a chance to see the movement on the pitches. Maybe picks up some tendencies. Just looking for a ball up in the zone, get that run home in from third base.
Joe Williams faced Seattle twice last year. Went 2-0. 15 innings of work, 11 strikeouts, 5 earned runs against them. So he's familiar with most of the guys in the lineup. Jaso at third, Olivo at first. And this one's pulled into right field, a base hit. Jaso will score. Olivo rounds second. He'll head to third. And this game is tied at 1.
Mike Carp just 1 for 16 with runners in scoring position before this hit here. Takes either a two-seamer or a little change-up and shoots it to right field. A lot of movement on that pitch. Not a bad pitch by Jerome Williams. Just a very nice piece of hitting by Carp.
You wonder how much that play by Ibar, that fielder's choice, deciding to go to third base, changes the mindset a little bit on how you approach Carp with 2 outs and a man at third base versus first and third and 1 out. A tough battle. Carp did a heck of a job in picking up that base knock as he notches his 8th run batted in. Mike Butcher paid a visit to the mound. And it's still first and third, still 1 out. Brendan Ryan, the shortstop, coming up. "19 pitches thrown by Jerome Williams, who really had not been tested a whole lot in this game. A base hit in the first inning, got a double play ball. A walk in the third, but then retired the next 2 batters. Ryan lifts it in the air. Shallow right field. Howie Kendrick going out. Mark Trumbo coming in. Trumbo calls him off and makes the catch. 2 outs. And not a bad idea if you're Brendan Ryan. You're struggling. You know a guy that has thrown now 19 pitches in the inning. You know he's going to come in there trying to get ahead of you. Might as well take a hack at that first pitch.
Yeah, you just want to make sure you hit it deep enough where you get that run home. Trumbo did a nice job coming in and calling off Howie Kendrick, who you could see was struggling with the sun. But in that situation, you always want the outfielder to field the ball because of the runner on third base.
Here's Dustin Ackley, the second baseman. He gets a base hit, and the Mariners take the lead. Carp will head to third base. It's 2-1 Seattle. Ackley had struck out in his first 2 plate appearances against Williams, not wasting any time as he picks up his 16th RBI.
You see Dustin Ackley short stroke him right here, Victor. This is what I'm talking about when I compare him to Chase Utley. I had an opportunity to play with Chase at UCLA. I mean, the similarities go well beyond even their swings. The way these guys carry themselves off the field. It's kind of real cool demeanor. Hard workers, love the game.
And Seattle playing Angels style of baseball, at least back in the day, that first to third. Capitalizing. Have scored twice here to take the lead. Michael Saunders takes down low. He's 1 for 2 with a base hit in the first inning, a strikeout in the fourth. Off-speed pitch, catches the outside corner to even the count. John Jaso, the DH for Seattle, got this one started with a double into the corner in left field. Miguel Olivo hit that ground ball to short that should have been the second out, but Ibar decided to go to third. Jaso was safe, and from that point on forward, a base hit by Carp brought home a run, and a base hit by Ackley brought home a run. Ackley takes off, pitches a strike, and it's a stolen base. No throw by Wilson. Fifth stolen base of the year for Dustin Ackley.
This team's aggressive. Talking to Eric Wedge today, he's got a lot of belief in these young players.
Swing and a miss. The inning comes to an end, but Seattle scores twice, and they do it on 3 hits. We've played 5 at Safeco. Seattle on top by the score of 2-1. DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by the makers of Bayer Advanced Aspirin, the official pain reliever of Major League Baseball. Top of the 6th inning in the Emerald City. It is the 3rd game of this 4-game series. Seattle with 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning leads it 2-1 as we start this 6th. And Mark Trumbo is set to lead things off against Felix Hernandez. He'll be followed by Howie Kendrick and then Eric Ibar. Swing and a miss on the first pitch breaking ball, and it's 0-1. Trumbo 2 for 2 with a couple of singles. Mark Trumbo came in as one of the league leaders in batting average. He finally qualified in the batting average category with the plate appearances necessary because he was being bounced around quite a bit defensively, not getting in the lineup early on. It took him a while to qualify, but came in 7th in the American League in average at .313. Pulls this one toward the hole. Brendan Ryan with a little bit of a bobble, and Trumbo's going to pick up his 3rd hit of the game.
Mike Socias had no problem writing his name in the lineup card as of late. And I don't care where you play this guy. He's got to be in there, and he has been for the most part.
He has made incredible strides from last year with his rookie season, finishing 2nd in the American League Rookie of the Year. Batting average, on base percentage down, strikeouts up, and he certainly has shrunken that strike zone down and become a little bit more disciplined hitter, just like that 4th inning at bat. As Howie shows bunt here and pulls it foul. 2-strike approach. Just put the ball in the right field.
You're right. Very impressive. Yeah, one of the things that he wanted to improve on in the offseason was working on his strikeout to walk rate. And it's improved in the early going, and you really see the difference in the on-base percentage and even his average.
Howie Kendrick is 0 for 2 against Felix Hernandez. Not bunting here, takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-2. Kendrick doesn't seem to have cared too much for that call by C.B. Buckner.
Ooh.
Close enough.
Just a little wide. I'm always going to take the defense of the hitter. Understandable.
And the 0-2. Kendrick. Looper over the head of Brendan Ryan. That's into left center. And Howie Kendrick with a 2-strike hit puts runners at 1st and 2nd here, and Eric Ibar coming up.
See Howie Kendrick stay back just enough. Hits the ball off the end of the bat. And Brendan Ryan, who's playing at double play depth, watches that sail right over his head.
Eight hits so far for the Angels against Felix Hernandez. He has 6 strikeouts and 1 walk. But the first 2 men have reached here to start this 6th inning. Ibar, more than likely in a sacrifice situation, has popped out and walked, so he's 0 for 1. Takes down low. The one thing you have to watch with Eric Ibar, if you're Kyle Seager, the 3rd baseman, and obviously depending on the defensive play that they put on here, protecting against the bunt, is if Ibar sees a 3rd baseman charging, he'll take that push bunt approach and try to just punch it into left field. Puts a bunt perfectly on the 3rd base line. Seager with the bare hand off balance throw, and that's an infield base hit. Terrific play by Kyle Seager, charging on that ball. But Eric Ibar legs it out. The bases are loaded.
Great play by Seager, but in this situation here, Victor, you got to know he's going to bunt. So, in my mind, if I'm Kyle Seager, you've got to be playing way in, knowing how quickly Eric Ibar gets down that first baseline.
Boy, bang, bang play at first. Jim Wolf calling him safe. So Trumbo at third, Kendrick at second, Ibar at first. Here's Cole Calhoun. Rolls the first pitch foul.
Even though the possibility for Eric Ibar to potentially pull back and slash, maybe decide to take the bunt with them, it doesn't matter. You still have to play straight up for the sacrifice.
Off the plate, 1 ball, 1 strike, especially when you've got a guy like Felix Hernandez, not taking anything away from him, but falls off a little bit to the first base side. Hate to use the term lumbering, but slow to get to the baseball on a bunt like that. If that's the case, then you almost have to force the issue with the third baseman to field that ball and make sure that you get the out at first. Calhoun pulls one foul up the first base line. It's 1-2.
You got to remember, some of these young Mariner position players, they're learning up here. So they're in a situation where they might make mistakes that you won't see veteran players make. Look, again, nothing wrong with the play that Kyle Seager made. He made a great play.
Yeah.
It's just tough to give him a base hit when you know it's coming.
In the dirt, gets away from Oliva, but Trumbo's not going anywhere. 2 balls and 2 strikes. .93 pitches thrown by Felix Hernandez, the workhorse. 59 strikes. As advertised as he is every start. A little bit of trouble here with the bases loaded and nobody out with a 2-1 lead. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Off speed pitch got him. 1 out. Here's today's Jeep game summary. Albert Pujols, 4th home run in the last 5 games. Dustin Ackley with an RBI single broke that 1-1 tie in the 5th. Felix Hernandez 5 1/3 now. 9 hits, 7 strikeouts. And that was a big one of Calhoun. Bobby Wilson was scheduled to bat, but looks like Alberto Callaspo is going to come out and pinch hit against Felix Hernandez. So Bobby Wilson finishes the game 0 for 2. A couple of fly ball outs. Callaspo hitting .234 on the year. From the left side of the plate, however, just .203. He is 1 for 3 as a pinch hitter.
Former teammate of mine, Victor, he's going to scrap. He'll give you an at-bat. That's why you see Mike Scioscia making the move right here.
Bases loaded, 1 out now. Off speed pitch, fouled. And it is 0-1. Callaspo had a big hit for the Angels in the extra inning game against Oakland a couple of days ago, battling Jordan Norberto for a double down the left field line to put the Angels on top in extra innings to win that game. Like I said, that came from the right side of the plate. 0-1 pitch. Skies this one out to deep right field. If this is fair, it is gone. Gone. A grand slam for Alberto Callaspo, the last thing you would expect. And the Angels are back on top 5-2. Second career grand slam for Callaspo.
I told you he was going to scrap, Victor. He did more than scrap. That was a bomb, too. I think just a 2-seam fastball. They wanted it inside. Got a little too much of the plate, and Callaspo squared it up.
Trout lining one to second base for the second out in the inning. He's now 2 for 4. There's no doubt that Mike Scioscia is now in Callaspo's ear and said, hey, tomorrow in batting practice, back to line drives. No more lifting the baseball. Him and Eric Ibar get all kinds of grief from Scioscia during BP on those.
You're sitting on the bench 1 minute. The next minute, you're 1 for 1 with a homer and 4 steaks. How your day just changed.
And really, as we pointed out, a guy that has been struggling from that side of the plate all season long. Been eaten up on the outside part of the plate. As Asturias bounces this one to second base. Ackley has it. And he'll throw out Meister Asturias to end the inning, but 3 straight singles by Trumbo, Kendrick, and Ibar. And after 1 out, Alberto Callasco with 1 swing of the bat puts the Angels back on top as Los Angeles leads it 5-2.
In America, Cincinnati jumped on Jeremy Guthrie for 4 in the first, and the Reds are adding on. Devin Mesoraco won a game 2 nights ago with a grand slam solo shot here. Reds lead the Rockies in the 5th at Great American. How about Boston and Tampa Bay? Beckett and Price matching each other pitch for pitch until Will Middlebrooks can get a ball past Sean Rodriguez to account for the game's only run. 1-0 Sox as we send you back out to Victor and Eric in Seattle.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Bottom of the 6th inning, 5-2. Angels leading the M's. 3, 4, and 5 for Seattle, however. Ichiro, Seager, and Smoke. The first one misses down and away. Suzuki today is 0 for 2. A double play ball that he hit into in the first inning and grounded out to Ibar in the 4th. That was a terrific play by Ibar going to the backhand. Chopped on the ground over to Pujols. Going to have to hurry on this one. Williams beats Ichiro for the first out. A couple of changes defensively for the Angels. John Hester is now behind the plate as Bobby Wilson was pinch hit for by Alberto Callasco, and Callasco stays in the game and will bat 9th. Hester goes into Asturias' spot in the order in the 2 spot.
You hit a grand slam, you get to stay in the game, Victor.
And why not, right?
So that's a fair rule.
One ball, no strikes on Kyle Seager, who's 0 for 2 today. A fly ball to left and a ground ball to first. This one off the end of the bat, backhanded by Williams. 2 outs. This MLB on Fox season, Fox Sports is proud to support Boys and Girls Clubs of America, a place where youth can reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. To learn more, please visit greatfutures.org/Fox Sports. We welcome you inside the broadcast booth. Victor Rojas along with Eric Burns. Glad you could join us here on baseball night in America, and we saw a little bit of a seesaw battle. Eric, Seattle coming back with 2 runs in that 5th inning, but one swing of the bat, and the Angels back on top.
Alberto Callaspo took a Felix Hernandez fastball, 2-seam fastball, in underneath his hands, and he short stroked him. He pulled those hands in so much, gets the barrel of the bat to the ball, and just goes to show you don't have to be a big guy to hit the ball out of the park.
Yeah, the Angels obviously struggling to start the season. Their season high 4-game winning streak starting to kind of trying to build some momentum. It's difficult, obviously, with the way the team has gone offensively, but starting to swing the bat a little bit better, chasing, of course, the Texas Rangers, who had a dramatic win once again as Smoke hits this one well out to deep right center field. Trout back at the wall, and that is gone. Justin Smoke with his 7th home run of the season, and Seattle gets one back. It's 5-3 Angels.
That was a loud sound off the bat of Justin Smoke. Hit the home run last night. It's been dialed in as of late.
Jaso takes outside. How important is it for Eric Wedge to get Justin Smoke's bat going, especially with the power stroke? Came in batting just .216. But you mentioned the home run last night. Had 4 runs batted in. All 4 of the runs coming in courtesy of Smoke. And he gets one of those runs back. 5th hit of the game for Seattle.
Another one of those young Seattle hitters that has all the potential in the world. Just hasn't quite put up the numbers yet at this point in his career.
Former 1st-round pick out of the University of South Carolina by the Texas Rangers, and then he was part of the package that came to Seattle as part of the Cliff Lee deal. 2-1 pitch inside of Jaso. 3 balls and a strike. Jaso got the rally started for the Mariners in the 5th with the double.
With a nice opposite field double. Yeah.
Seattle with action in their bullpen. Steve Delabarne, live arm. They've had issues closing out games. Brandon League, who blew the game last night, blew the save last night for Seattle, no longer in that closer's role. He pitches outside, and Jaso works the walk. 2nd one issued by Jerome Williams.
Yeah, Eric Wedge said today they're going to do a little closure by committee for now. Run Brandon League out there in some less stressful situations. The stuff's still there with League. He was hitting 99 miles per hour in the radar gun last night. It's just a matter of consistently getting ahead of hitters and throwing strikes with your off-speed pitches.
It almost seems like an epidemic this year in Major League Baseball with closers. Angels started the season off with Jordan Walden as their closer. He struggled in that role and still do not have a definitive closer. Scott Downs closed last night's game. Ernesto Frieri earned his first career save a couple of days ago against Oakland. Williams got the first 2 outs rather easily here in the 6th inning. Gave up the home run to Smoke, and now the walk to Jaso, who gets Oliva to swing at the first one. 0-1. The veteran Jason Isringhausen begins to loosen.
16th year in the big leagues. Still going at it. I played with Jason in Oakland in 2000.
Jam shot roller to 2nd. Howie Kendrick throws out Oliva. The inning comes to an end, but Justin Smoke gets one of the runs back. His 7th home run of the season. We've played 6 at Safeco, and it's 5-3 Angels. Angels leading the Seattle Mariners 5-3. Steve Delabar takes over on the mound for Felix Hernandez, pitching down his 24th game. 1-0 record and a 4.50 ERA. Second appearance for him in this series. Delabar pitched in the opening game on Thursday. Went 2 innings and had 3 strikeouts.
When I look at a reliever's numbers, or any pitcher's numbers for that matter, I like to look at the innings pitched, the hits per innings pitched, and then how many strikeouts he has per innings pitched. And it really tells me how nasty a guy is. Delabar has pitched 22 innings going into today. He's given up just 14 hits. And he struck out 28 guys.
This one pulled foul. That's 0-2 on Albert Pujols. Albert 2 for 3 today.
Opponent's batting average 175.
Got a live arm. Kentucky native. One time was an Angels draft pick but did not sign. Went to Volunteer State Community College and became a 29th round pick by the San Diego Padres. 2003. Had a broken right elbow in 2010. The 1-2 pitch outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pujols hit his 7th home run of the year, leading off the 4th. His 10th double of the year, with 2 outs in the 5th. Two, and that is yanked foul. Delabar, 28 years of age. Substitute teacher not too long ago. He had the elbow problem in his big league debut last year.
Life's changed a little bit.
Swing and a miss. Got him. What a great location on that fastball. 1 out.
Real good late life to that fastball.
Kendrys Morales happy that Felix Hernandez no longer is in the game. Morales 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts against Felix. Ended up going 6 innings today, striking out 7 and walking 1. Like we said, the Mariners have some arms in that bullpen with a lot of life in them. League is just one of them. Wilhelmsen another. Delabar. And as we said early on, as far as that core group of position players for Seattle, you want to have that pitching side just about even with that core group of position players so that you can all develop at the same time and start winning at the same time.
Well, they have it, and they have more coming as well. Talking to Jack Zielinski today, the Mariners general manager, they have 3 guys in Double-A right now that are lighting up the radar gun as well.
Morales fouls it back.
Everyone within the Mariners organization seems really excited about the direction this team is going.
That is out number 2, 4th strikeout for Kendrys Morales. Hey, this July, don't miss the biggest event of the summer as baseball's greatest stars battle for home field advantage in the Fall Classic. The road to the World Series begins with the 2012 MLB All-Star Game Tuesday, July the 10th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific on Fox. Kansas City, Missouri, home of the All-Star Game this year.
Gorgeous stadium. One of the most underrated stadiums
Well, especially after the renovation. Mark Trumbo is tardy on that fastball. It's 0-1. That's where I grew up. The Kansas side there, and at that ballpark. Delabar with back-to-back strikeouts here to start this 7th inning. Trumbo, 3 singles, 3 for 3. Foul tips that one. It's 0-2.
I would always feel a little more relaxed when I was playing in Kansas City.
Really?
I think it was the waterfalls.
Yeah. Rather peaceful, aren't they?
Very fun, swayish.
A little different now with all the fans that are out there. Waterfalls are still there. Little jam shot, one hopper to Kyle Seager. Delabar has himself a 1-2-3 inning. It's 7th inning stretch time at Safeco, and the Angels still on top. A lot of excitement in this one. 10 hits for the Angels, 5 for the Mariners. Nice little battle back and forth. Third game of this 4-game series. New pitcher on the mound for the Angels as Jordan Walden, the right-hander, takes over for Jerome Williams.
Jordan obviously started the season as the Angels closer, struggled, but since losing that closer's job is throwing 9 consecutive scoreless innings, or 9 consecutive outings actually, in 8 2/3. Holding opponents to a 107 average, Victor.
He's thrown the baseball much better of late since being removed from that closer's role. Live fastball, as you see, at 97 miles per hour. Good slider changeup, which all of a sudden has developed since he's been taken out of that closer's role.
And that's what Mike Scioscia pointed to when he talked about why Jordan Walden's throwing the baseball so much better. His ability to throw the off-speed pitches for strikes. It doesn't matter how hard you throw. If you don't have another pitch to go with it, big league hitters will catch up with that fastball.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And it was that and lack of command that really hurt Jordan Walden in that closer's role. Still think, and Mike Scioscia probably still feels the same way too, that Jordan has the potential to be a closer for a long time. if that consistency continues to grow. Outside, a full count. Carp has a walk and an RBI singles. He's 1 for 1. Seattle sending up 8, 9, and 1 here in the 7th inning. Brendan Ryan on deck. Dustin Ackley to follow. The 3-2. Off the plate, he walked him. Leadoff man is on board. Today's game presented by Chevrolet is sponsored by Prudential. Prudential, bring your challenges. And by Olympic Maximum Stain and Sealant in 1. Legendary Dave Niehaus, longtime broadcaster of the Seattle Mariners, also at one point a broadcaster with the Angels.
My, oh my.
You saw the quote there, get out the rye bread. That was on his grand slam call.
You could have used that today.
Rye bread and mustard.
For Alberto Callaspo's grand salami.
John Hester out to pay a visit quickly. Jordan Walden, who issued the leadoff walk to Carp, falls behind on Brendan Ryan at 1 ball, no strikes. Ryan, the shortstop, has hit a fly ball to center and a fly ball to right. He's 0 for 2. 1-1. Jerome Williams, 6 innings, 3 runs, 3 earned, 5 hits, including the home run to Justin Smoke, 5 strikeouts and 1 walk.
Another quality start for Jerome Williams, who's just been huge for the Angels out of that 5th spot, Victor, in the rotation.
I misspoke. 2 walks for Jerome, not 1.
How dare you?
It happens on occasion. 3 balls and a strike. Walden falling behind. And the 9th place hitter, Brendan Ryan.
If you're Jordan Walden right here, you got to challenge him. You have to force him to hit you. Do not want to put that tying run on base.
Full count.
Ryan taking all the way.
Just shy of 30,000 in the house today on a gorgeous day. Carp takes off. The 3-2 is fouled off the ankle.
That'll leave mark. Yikes. You have all that padding there, Victor. One little exposed area on the foot, and it happens to find it.
Just got to wait till that feeling comes back in the foot. And hope you don't get another pitch on the inside part of the plate.
Well, you know it's coming as a hitter. Let's see if Brendan Ryan cheats a little bit right here. Starts a little early. And flies open.
Carp was off at the pitch the last time. He takes off again. Ryan strikes out, swinging to throw down to seconds on the shortstop side. And Carp picks up a stolen base. But Carp did not have a very good jump. He picks up the bag as John Hester's throw. I don't know if it was impeded or bothered by the swing of Ryan. Didn't have much on it.
if you're Carp there, it's not your job to get a good jump. It's really on the hitter.
Back to the top of the order, Dustin Ackley's that fastball is up high. Ackley with an RBI single in the 5th inning, notching his 16th run batted in. Angels bullpen struggled from the get-go, but throwing the ball much better of late, settling into some rolls.
Yeah, they've been phenomenal. Along with the starting pitchers who have the best ERA in the American League. This Angels bullpen has been as good as any bullpen in baseball as of late. Albert Pujols heating up. You could see the other guys now feeding off of Albert, Trumbo, Trout. Howie Kendrick with a big hit last night.
Angels bullpen had only one win up until a couple of days ago. 3-7 with 3.67 now. 2-1 pitch to Ackley, and that's lifted in the air. Third base side and tailing toward the seats. Cayasco will give it a look, but that's a couple of rows deep. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Talking to Dan Herron before the game, I asked him about whether or not he likes the extra wild card, because potentially the Angels will be in a position to either nab that spot or the first wild card spot. And he said absolutely, he loves it. Well, I said, well, are you going to love it if you guys win 100 games and you're playing a 87-win White Sox team?
Dale Scott says he did not go. It's a full count.
With your fate riding on one game. He just said, good point.
But if you're in that one game, you're saying there's a chance.
And I'd love it if I'm the 87-win team.
This one's fouled off the left. Jordan Walden's gone to a full count on all 3 hitters here in the 7th. Walked Carp. He stole second base. Brendan Ryan, a strikeout victim. The 3-2. He got him looking on the outside corner. 2 outs. Earlier in the game, we heard from Peter Borges, whom we mic'd up. CB Buckner mic'd up as well.
I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, nice. Long way from home.
Yep, it sure is.
You enjoy this?
Yes.
That's good.
Has its moments. Oh, did it go? Yes! What, you guys don't dance anymore?
You know, our marketing guys don't want us to, so I said, fine, I don't care. It's more work to me.
Oh, yeah?
Our thanks to CB Buckner for allowing us to mic him during the game. Mike Scioscia's come out, and he's going to make a pitching change here with Michael Saunders due up. The left-hand hitting center fielder Scott Downs will come on, and the Angels still on top. Scott Downs on in relief of Jordan Walden with 2 outs here in the 7th. That's Mike Karp standing at second base. Michael Saunders standing in the left-handed batter's box. Saunders, the center fielder, takes that pitch down low. 1 ball, no strike. Saunders 1 for 3, a single and a couple of strikeouts. So you take a look at Scott Downs' numbers.
Those good?
Not bad.
Came on to close the game last night. Mike Scioscia using him early here in the 7th inning.
2 balls and no strikes.
The way Scioscia said he's approaching this is really just matchups. So he has 3 guys he feels like could close out ball games between Walden, Scott Downs, and Ernesto Frieri. Talk about good numbers. Frieri's been on a tear.
And with Walden and Downs being used here, lead me to believe that Ernesto Frieri would be the guy he would call up. That pitch is a strike. It's 2-1. Downs got in the game last night and notching his 4th save through 7 pitches. Came inside. 2-2.
You mentioned just the 7 pitches last night, Victor, and I got to believe with Ichiro coming up next and then Seager, Smoke, all the way to Jaso, Scott Downs is going to remain in the game. Just playing out well, at least matchup-wise, for Mike Scioscia.
To get him to chase that sweeping breaking pitch. And a full count. Ichiro Suzuki on deck. 3-2 pitch. He lost him. A walk. Puts 2 on for Ichiro. A moment ago, we were talking about Jordan Walden and the struggles that he had in that closer's role. That has become somewhat of an epidemic throughout Major League Baseball. Here's a map for you. If you haven't figured it out, injuries and guys that have been removed from that closer's role.
Did we miss a team?
Heath Bell, for a moment, he had a hiccup for the Miami Marlins. 1 ball, no strikes on Ichiro Suzuki, who is 0 for 3 today. Cayaspo playing in at third base. In on the hands, 1-1. One and 2 now. Karp started this inning off with a walk and stole second base. Saunders just drew a walk against Downs, first and second with 2 outs. Boy, jammed a little roller up the first base line. Downs will pick it up, flip to Pujols. The inning comes to an end. 7 complete here in Seattle. The Emerald City shining in the sunshine today. It's 5-3 Angels. Angels lead the Seattle Mariners. Howie Kendrick, Eric Ibar, and Cole Calhoun to face Steve Delabar, who had a 1-2-3 seventh, including a couple of strikeouts. That's 0-1 count on Howie Kendrick. Kendrick today 1 for 3, had a base hit and scored a run in the 6th inning. The Angels with a run in the 4th. Seattle took the lead with 2 runs in the 5th inning. At the top of the 6th inning, Alberto Callaspo pinch hit grand slam put the Angels back on top. Justin Smoke got one of those runs back in the bottom of the 6th inning with his 7th home run. That's where we stand right now. Turn back the clock day.
1955.
Seattle Rainiers against the Los Angeles Angels. The Angels back then. As Howie shoots one into right center field. That's a leadoff base hit. We're a AAA affiliate of the Chicago Cubs. This series wraps up tomorrow from Safeco Field. 12:30 is the coverage. The pregame show on Fox Sports West. Game time at 1 o'clock. Hector Noesi going up against C.J. Wilson in the finale tomorrow afternoon.
That's my son's name, Joe.
Delabar started Howie Kendrick off with 2 sliders after throwing a ton of fastballs, Victor, in that first inning. And then Howie Kendrick, a great fastball hitter, eventually got the fastball with 2 strikes, and he didn't miss.
Kendrick had been struggling for a couple of weeks now. A pinch hit yesterday certainly helped against Brandon League. As Ibar takes upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Eric Ibar's also been scuffling, but is turning it on a little bit of late. 1 for 2 today. Had a base hit and a run scored in the 6th inning. Last 10 games for Ibar, 12 for 36. This one off the end of the bat towards Ackley. He feeds Ryan for 1. The relay's in time. A double play. 2 down.
Nice smooth turn right there. Easy does it.
So 2 outs and nobody on. Cole Calhoun, the left fielder, will step in. 0 for 3 today. All 5 of the runs for the Angels coming off Felix Hernandez, and that's kind of a big deal in that Felix has been so good at home this year. Came into this ball game with a 2-1 record and a .87 ERA in 4 starts.
Well, you just saw the man that put up 4 of them.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Alberto Callaspo took a 2-seam fastball that started at him. He pulled his hands in and drilled it out of here, Victor.
Towering shot. Little guys aren't supposed to hit those towering shots, are they?
No.
Calhoun fouls it off. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It really wasn't a bad pitch by Felix Hernandez. Then the series of events, including the bunt that led up to it, put him in a very vulnerable position.
Ibar getting a credit for an infield base hit on what was supposed to be just a sacrifice. That's kind of how that 9th inning blew up for Seattle as well last night. As Calhoun taps it foul. Brandon League fielding a sacrifice bunt, firing it wide of Alex Liddy. That brought home the tying run to put runners at 2nd and 3rd. They loaded the bases and Kendrick got the hit. And coming into this series, Seattle, one of the best defensive teams, fielding percentage wise. Making some mistakes.
Well, they are solid all the way around the diamond.
2-2 inside a full count. Nobody losing in the Angels bullpen, and with Seattle having Seager, Smoke, and Jaso coming up in the bottom of the 8th, he'll be coming back out. Scott Downs will, as you pointed out.
Yeah, this has worked out very nicely for Mike Scioscia. Using the closer by committee, really just using each guy based on matchup.
This one pulled to the right side. That's a base hit for Cole Calhoun. And that'll bring up Alberto Callaspo. Here's today's Burger King smooth play of the game. The pitch was in off the plate, wasn't it?
In. Very far in. The more times I see it, the more I'm impressed. You got to look out for the little guys, though. Those are the ones that can short stroke you.
Sneak up on you.
Small arms. Short.
Second career grand slam for Alberto Callaspo. His second home run of the season.
Got to figure Calhoun's going to be looking to run right here.
Fouled back, evens the count at a ball and a strike. Calhoun picked up his first major league stolen base a couple of days ago as well. He was in that Oakland series. Hit 6 stolen bases at AAA.
You see Delabar, he's got kind of a modified little leg kick here. As a base stealer, whenever I would see a big guy on the mound, generally they're slower to home plate. I would try to take advantage of that.
1-2.
I asked Mike Scioscia earlier today whether or not his guys have the green light. And he politely declined to tell me.
Soj playing it close to the vest? Never happens. Calhoun over at first base with a 2-out single. 1-2 to Callaspo. Chopper back towards second base. Brennan Ryan will touch the bag. The inning comes to an end. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. A beautiful Seattle, Washington. Nice little battle here in the third game as the Angels try to extend their winning streak to 5 games. They lead this one 5-3. new, just for men. Auto Stop is foolproof. Gray is over. And by Dodge, visit your local Dodge dealer today. It's the bottom of the 8th inning, 5-3 Angels. Kyle Seager to lead things off. He's happy for turn back the clock day, and why wouldn't he?
Gotta appreciate his enthusiasm.
Got a sock hop like movement, right?
What I loved about it is he's continuing to go as the music has stopped.
How many cotton candies do you think that young man's had to be that wired right now? This one lined into center field. The leadoff man is on board. Kyle Seager with his first hit of the day.
Real nice swing here by Kyle Seager. What makes Scott Downs so effective against left-handed hitters, Victor, you and I were talking about this during the break, is his ability to run that two-seam fastball in on left-handers, which is actually very difficult for a left-hander to do. Scott Downs does as well as anybody in the game. That one just caught way too much of the plate, and Seager took advantage of the mistake.
Justin Smoke spins around to hit from the right side. The switch hitting first baseman homered in the 6th inning off Jerome Williams. 1 ball, no strikes. Seven home runs for Smoke now, 6 of which have come from the left side of the plate. Foul tipped. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Ernesto Frieri.
There he is.
To loosen.
I'm excited to watch him throw the ball.
Breaks his bat, rolls it foul. The barrel ends up at the shortstop position. Even the Gold Glover has trouble handling the barrel. That's in the kitchen. That's standing in your robe in sandals cooking breakfast in your kitchen.
Downs has got some really late cut on the ball. I mean, that's almost off his knuckles.
One and two now in Smoke.
It's one thing when you know a cutter's coming and you can see it. It's another when you think it's a straight fastball and then it has that real late bite to it.
There's nothing you could do. And you back it up a little two-seamer on the inside part. Just missed in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Angels with 5 runs on 12 hits, no errors. Seattle with 3 runs on 6 hits. They've committed no errors. Two. This one pulled foul wide of the bag at third. Go back to that 6th inning with 2 outs. Jerome Williams, remember, got the first 2 batters out rather easily. And Smoke went down and got it.
That is a loud sound. Sounds like a shotgun went off. Does Fox have a microphone in the bat? I mean, I know he has pop, but goodness gracious.
Great sound. Seager still over at first base. Leadoff single for him. Swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch. 1 out.
Real good pitch by Downs right there. We've been pounding him in with fastballs. And drops a real nice backdoor breaking ball.
Here's John Jaso, the DH. He's grounded out, doubled and scored and walked. 1 for 2 game. formerly of the Tampa Bay Rays. Callaspo playing in just in case. Seager with a short lead at first. Down in the dirt. Seager's going to advance towards second base on the wild pitch.
Real good job by Seager right there. Anticipating the ball in the dirt. This is what you work on in spring training. As soon as you see that ball's going to come up short, you take off running. He got a fantastic jump.
So man in scoring position with one out. Jason with a 1-ball, no strike count.
And you got to believe that this is going to be Downs' last batter with Miguel Olivo looming on deck and Frieri in the bullpen getting ready.
Jason tries to drag bunt there. Pulls it foul. It's 1-ball, 1 strike. No earned runs. 14 appearances for Scott Downs. Ryan Cook is off to an incredible start with the Oakland Athletics. Two balls and a strike.
Aroldis Chapman has been pretty good as well. He's really found his stride. Talk about controlling the zone, getting the breaking ball over, doing the things that you need to do to be a successful closer.
Throws hard, drives fast. Down, stepping off.
Actually throws harder than he drives. About 7 miles per hour. He's got a speeding ticket.
Depending on the calibration of the gun.
Doing 93.
Jason fouls it back. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I'm going to guess he did not try to make the argument that the gun was slow.
No, at that point you just hand the license over, assuming you have one on you,
and step out of the car.
Seager leading off at second. 2-2 to Jason, and he got him swinging. 2 down. Back-to-back strikeouts for Downs. Mike Scioscia's coming out, and right on cue, Ernesto Frieri is going to come into the ballgame. The right-hander Miguel Olivo due up. 2 outs here in the 8th. It's Frieri trying to finish off this 8th inning. 5-3 Angels. 2 outs. Man at second base, Miguel Olivo to face Ernesto Frieri. 9 games with the Angels. First one is inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Olivo today is 0 for 3. Did reach on the fielder's choice in the 5th inning. Came around to score. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Frieri acquired from the San Diego Padres on May the 3rd in exchange for infielder Alexi Amarista, minor league pitcher Don Roach. That's kind of when the transformation of the Angels bullpen started to occur. Kevin Jepson was optioned down to AAA Salt Lake. One and two.
With an out here, Victor, Ernesto Frieri will have gone 9 hitless innings since acquired by the Angels. The most astonishing statistic, though, the 19 strikeouts in just 8 2/3. He's really been the key difference for this Angels bullpen. They didn't have defined roles, especially with Jordan Walden struggling at the beginning of the season. Frieri has allowed them to kind of move into position.
Olivo strikes out, swinging. The inning comes to an end as we head to the 9th. Still 5-3 Angels. All Night in America is presented by Chevrolet. Top of the 9th at beautiful Safeco Field. The Angels leading the Mariners 5-3. It's Mike Trout leading things off against the new pitcher. Sean Kelly takes over for Steve Delabar. Delabar 2 innings of scoreless baseball. Pitching in his 9th game. 0-1 record, of 3.38 ERA. Trout fouls it back. Evens the count.
Sean Kelly, not overpowering stuff, but he can pitch.
Young man missed the season last year with Tommy John surgery, or partial Tommy John surgery, which he had in September of 2010. Pitched in 9 games for the Tacoma Rainiers, a AAA affiliate. Had 4 saves in those 9 games. Last outing was on the 23rd, and that was against Texas. Trout today 2 for 4 with a couple of singles. Two count. Trout coming into this one had been 2 for 22 since his 3-hit game against the Padres last Sunday. Picking up a couple of knocks today. John Hester is due up next, and Albert Pujols.
Real good piece of hitting by Trout right there. I mean, that's a great pitch. You're Sean Kelly. You got to be thinking to yourself, come on. I threw a nice slider on the outside corner in a full count situation. You're not supposed to be fouling that off.
And he gets him this time. Out number 1.
That's what you're supposed to be doing.
Just get a little bit further off the plate.
There you go. Real nice pitch by Sean Kelly. A little more bite to that one. Again, not overpowering stuff, Victor. Mm-hmm. But, hey, you see him running it up there in the low 90s. Mm-hmm. But he's the guy who's not afraid to throw a slider in that situation. You have Mike Trout, the fastest guy, arguably, in all of baseball, leading off the inning. You're trying to preserve a 2-run lead here in the 9th inning, and you have no problem throwing a slider 3-2.
Kelly, 28 years of age, a 13th round pick in 07 by Seattle. One ball, one strike on John Hester.
John Hester, the Stanford Cardinal. A lot of Pac-12 representation here today. I played with John when he came up with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He was actually one of the guys in the Mark Reynolds trade. Mm-hmm. Ended up in Baltimore.
Let go earlier this year. The Angels signed him for some depth. Chris Iannetta on the disabled list. Hester got the call up. It's 1-2.
And he can hit a little bit. He's got some pop in that bat. Early season numbers, he's hitting .286. 14 at bats. He's probably the Angels' best option right now, at least offensively, behind the plate. Although the pitchers do really like throwing to Bobby Wilson.
Two on its way. Hester takes that one down low, full count. Pujols on deck, Morales on deck, or in the hole, I should say. Rough day for Kendrys Morales. 4 strikeouts. Hester fouls it off the right. Another 3-2, and Hester lifts this one in the air toward left center field. Michael Saunders calling off Mike Carp. 2 down. That'll bring up Albert Pujols, who's had one heck of a series. 3 home runs. This one off the facade. The second deck last night, just to the right of center field. And then today, out towards left center field. That was off of Felix Hernandez. Just for Men Auto Stop, foolproof stat. Last 17 games has been on a tear. 6 home runs, 17 runs batted in.
He really just looks comfortable up there.
This one back up the middle, off of Kelly, ricochets to Smoke, and back to Kelly. So well-designed 1-3-1. Wonder if Sean Kelly hurt his shin there. We'll head to the bottom of the ninth. The Angels on top 5-3. Deck circle in the top of the ninth ended. On the right side of your screen, you see Kendrys with the beard. He was struggling throughout the game, so he figured, you know what, I'll go in and shave. Didn't quite work out the way he wanted to. 0 for 4. There's a soul patch early on. No soul patch later on. 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. As we start this bottom of the ninth inning, 5-3 Angels. Ernesto Frieri still in the game to face Karp, Ryan, and Ackley, the scheduled 3 batters for Eric Wedge. The first one's a swing and a miss. A couple of defensive changes for the Angels. Mike Trout is now in left field. Peter Borges takes over in center, and Cole Calhoun moves from left over to right. So no Mark Trumbo. 0-1 pitch. Fouled back. No balls and 2 strikes on Karp, the left fielder, who's been on base all 3 times today. A couple of walks and an RBI single. He's also picked up a stolen base.
Frieri just rears back and throws fastballs. He's so deceptive. Look at the funky delivery.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Karp. There's out number 1.
He's not throwing 100 miles per hour, Victor. He's throwing in the mid-90s.
Yep.
But these are major league hitters. You have to assume they'd be able to catch up to it. But from a hitter's perspective, I stood up during the break and I almost got in a batting stance to see what it would be like watching Ernesto Frieri warm up. The ball looks like it's coming out of his ear.
Fastball away. You imagine righty-righty situation. I mean, and he does throw a breaking pitch. We've yet to really see him throw it for a strike. He'll show it on occasion, but it's all fastballs. There's no sink to it either. It's that lateral movement in on a right-handed batter. Almost stays on the same plane.
Sure, that's what they call run. It runs back into a right-handed hitter away from a left-handed hitter.
Brendan Ryan 0 for 3 today. Up and in.
Look out.
And he walked him on 4 pitches.
If there is a fault with Ernesto Frieri, he has walked 6 guys, that being his 7th. When you have a live arm like that, sometimes it's tough to control. But again, I gave you the numbers. Coming into the game, 8 2/3 innings pitched, 19 strikeouts. I'd give you the opponent's batting average, Victor, but they don't have one.
Dustin Ackley at the plate, the second baseman. Fastball upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Ackley 1 for 4 today. RBI single and a stolen base in the 5th. He has struck out the other 3 times. Mike Butcher coming out.
Frieri's now thrown 5 straight balls. Dustin Ackley is a guy who has the potential to drive one out of the ballpark. Yet I'm not sure if the best thing for Dustin Ackley, the Mariners right now, are just to make Frieri throw strikes.
Took something off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Frieri, a native of Colombia, delivers the 1-1. Strike on the inside corner, 1-2. The 1-2 to Ackley. Swing and a miss. 2 down. I mean, it's basically here it is.
Everybody I talked to today in the Angels camp referred to his fastball as the invisible. And I just spoke to you guys from a hitter's perspective. It looks like that ball is spitting out of his right earlobe. Very difficult for a hitter to pick up and to get his timing.
Outside, moving to second base is Brendan Ryan on indifference. Can you look for one particular arm slot or one particular area, or are you just reacting? Saunders lifts this one out toward left field. Mike Trout is there, and the Angels have made it 3 in a row against the Seattle Mariners and 5 consecutive wins as they pick up the victory today by the final of 5-3. Felix Hernandez came into this one with terrific numbers here at Safeco. That one swing of the bat by the pinch hitter Alberto Callaspo changed this game around.
One swing of the bat, and it wasn't a terrible pitch. Alberto Callaspo got to an inside fastball that may have been even off the plate, Victor, and drilled it way up into the right field bleachers.
Angels win it 5-3. They've won 5 consecutive games, and they will go for the series sweep tomorrow. That's it for now from Seattle. Coming up next, we'll send it back to the MLB Network studios for post-game coverage right after these messages.